But right now, let me bring back Ozzie Jurek. That's a phrase you hear everywhere, Ozzie. Bring back Ozzie Jurek. That's what we want. Hey, let me just say, sorry, before I get a couple of questions in on you, I just want to ask you about, I was seeing on your website, you've got the Real Estate Entrepreneur Summit, and I think it's next Saturday at the Marriott downtown in Vancouver. It's an all-day event. Give me the quick one-liner on what's going on there.
Well, normally because people used to our Outlook conference, the sort of the predicting kind of future conference. This one is actual entrepreneurs in real estate telling them how they do it. We have major developers telling us how they started out and what is involved in getting a development going. We have a major lady. She started out selling a single-family house in Phoenix 6 years ago. Now she's running 2,000 units, and she's telling her story. So we have panels of experts, real people that do real work, sort of the big people, but also the first-time buyers, and how did they create a joint venture. So it's going to be really an exciting all-day action-oriented event.
Well, when I saw it on the website, you don't know this, but I phoned your office, and the tickets are $197. You can get them at 604-683-1111, 604-683-1111, or you can write max@Jurek.com. That's who I talked to. I talked to Max, and guess what? If you're a CKNW Money Talks listener, no matter where you're listening from, Victoria, Kamloops, etc., you can get the tickets more than half price at $97. And so there you go. And plus, by the way, if you are a Money Talks listener, you get a separate night called Springboard to Action into Instruction. So as I say, the tickets are $197, but if you say you're a Money Talks listener, you can get them for $97. But call 604-683-1111, 604-683-1111. Ozzie, I wanted to ask you about this. Oh, wait a second. No, I'll get to the hot property in a minute. I wanted to ask you about this. Bank of Nova Scotia, we were talking with Mike Levy about this earlier, got some of the banks again. Once again, we're getting worries about the high prices in Vancouver and Toronto. Well, you know, it seems like one of the big suggestions from the Canadian banks, at least the Bank of Nova Scotia leading the way, is to raise the amount you have to put down.
Yeah, and I think it's really a silly suggestion. I mean, but by the way, the Bank of Nova Scotia is not the only one. We have the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development out of Paris telling the Canadian government they have to slow things down. But to do it by raising down payments, house prices are soaring in Vancouver largely because of the multiple bids for tight inventory and unprecedented speculation by offshore and local buyers. So the idea, the big brainy idea, is to increase the cost to the first-time buyers. Absolutely hogwash. It's almost criminal, as if the long-suffering first-time buyer and other working folks trying to get into the market are to blame for the soaring prices. I mean, look, the smart things governments could do would be to make Vancouver house more affordable, include incentives to developers for wanting to build more rental housing. We have really no incentives for them to do it. Expand and improve transit to make less expensive suburban area more accessible. Increase the density. My goodness, Bob Rennie years ago said, put another floor on a 4-story building and we would, get a 20% increase in ownership in all these apartment buildings. And release the thousands of acres. Now, Mike, this is really a hot potato, but release some of the unproductive and unfarmed agricultural land, reserve land for residential development, because increasing the supply will reduce prices.
Let me ask you a couple other things. One of the things that I thought was surprising is I looked at a report from the Real Estate Association in British Columbia. They don't seem to be worried about house prices dropping anytime soon.
Well, I mean, I in my fax by email to my subscribers, this is a shock. I mean, the BC Real Estate Association reported yesterday they're expecting the average price in BC to be $792,800. That's the average of all prices in BC. That would be a 20% increase by the end of or the middle of next year. And think about it. That would suggest that every single BC residential investor could make $158,000 in the next 12 months, or double the average income simply by buying a house.
Well, there you go. That is certainly going to fuel the fire a little bit. Now, I'm not letting you go without giving me a hot property.
We got a lovely little place, Port Hardy. I know it's way up there on Vancouver Island, but full side-by-side duplex, $197,000, we think is a good deal, and a brand-new townhouse in Nanaimo, $337,000.
The Nanaimo's just really picking up, too. I mean, all of British Columbia finally rippling out from central Vancouver area, the lower mainland, and now it's certainly gone in spades to Victoria, but coming in through Nanaimo. I mean, my goodness, the market's still hot, no matter what anyone's saying.
No question, particularly the Okanagan is burning higher. Even the Kootenays are now coming alive.
There you go, Ozzie. Go out and have a terrific weekend.
I will. Thank you so much.